Alright, so lately I've been going out by myself alone for the past month, and this is what I have learned by going out by myself for the past month and a half. It's either going to be a really good night or it's going to either be a really bad night. It's not really no in between, just off the simple fact that you're going out by yourself. It kind of comes off as like, you know, where your friends at, you're lame, and it's honestly going to test your self-confidence and your social skills. Now, out of this month and a half that I've been going out by myself, I've only really had one good night where everything just went very well, but I feel like that was luck and everything just so happened to fall into place where I sat down at the right location at the right time and everything just fell in place. Now, the main reason why if you go out by yourself, most of the times it's not going to be that good of a night is because when you go out by yourself, you don't really have your boys to go home with at the end of the night. Not even on no like food shit, you know? Like at the end of the night, bro, let's say you go out with your boys and none of y'all go home with no girls. You don't go home with no girls. You don't get no girl contacts, bro. At the end of the night, you still went out with your boys, go get something to eat afterwards and still just enjoy the night doing some dumb and crazy shit, bro. Like the night's not over. The night is still young with your boys, bro. Y'all can still go out and do some dumb shit. Y'all can go back home, fucking do anything, bro, after the club. The night's not over. When you go out by yourself, it's kind of like, it's 2 a.m. I didn't really come here with no one. I don't really have no moves for girls. I don't really have a choice but to go home, you know? Now, you might even try and milk the clock where you stay in the club to where all the cute girls left and it's nothing but like the ogres out, which is mostly at like 1:40 a.m. We all know like the cute girls leave at like 1 a.m., 1:20 a.m. and then that's when the ogres are kind of still in there trying to party and have their fun time. You might be trying to milk the clock, trying to find, you know, a little desperation attempt before you go home, and it's just like, at this point in my life, bro, I'm sorry, I can't go home with nothing like that. My standards are too high. I'm not gonna sit there and milk the clock for a fucking 5'2", 300-pound woman, or, you know, just girl who I don't really find that attractive. I'm gonna get the fuck out of there and dip. Another reason why it's so hard to actually have a good night in the club by going by yourself is you just look lonely, bro. You look like a loser. You look like a lonely guy who has no friends, and this lowers your value in the club, especially if girls see you, because it's just like, where's that nigga's friends at? For example, me, I would go in the club and I would go on the club side and I would walk around, you know, my typical game of where I go around looking for choosing signals. If I talk to a girl, I'll talk to a girl. If I don't, I don't, right? And then I would go back to the tiki side, sit down. Now, as I sat down, I'm not gonna lie, I did have girls come up to me occasionally every once in a while, but they didn't meet my criteria of my standards, so I didn't really entertain it. But maybe for someone else out there who has different standards than me, it might have met their criteria, so it would have been a better time. But for the girls that I felt like did meet my standards, it came off as me sitting down on the bench. I look like a loser. I look like a lame. I look like a nigga who had no friends. Not only that, I didn't have a group to go to you know, debrief with or talk about the night with. So I just looked lonely, bro. So it was a process of me going to the club side, looking around, looking for some shit, and then coming back and nothing popped off. Now, that one night that I did have immense success, I happened to sit down, and when I sat down, I ran into some people that I knew from the past, and then we started engaging in conversation, and that's how everything popped off. That's why I said going out by yourself, it could either be really good or really bad, because hey, you might run into some people you knew from the past, you kick it with them, you reopen old connections and you hang out with them, or you know, maybe you might fit in with a group of girls that accept you in and they invite you to some after moves and you get some butt like that and you meet some new people like that. But out of all the nights that I went out, that only happened really one time for me where the night went really good, and I've got basically like 2 to 3 leads off that. All the other nights it was mostly me going out over to the club side, coming back, boom, it's like 1:30, I'm trying to milk the clock at 2 a.m, you know, just praying for something nice to come along, and nothing ever nice came along. And not only that, once 2 a.m hits, you know, the night is over if you go out by yourself. If you don't go out by yourself and you have your boys, it's kind of like, the night's still young, you know, you still can enjoy the night. It's just kind of like at 2 a.m, if you go out by yourself, it's just kind of like, damn, I didn't get nothing, I gotta go home. And it's just like, it's kind of a waste of time to go out by yourself unless you're a really charismatic person to where you can just instantly, you know, kick it off with multiple people that you just met. I'm more so of an introvert, so me trying to even fake that personality trait is extremely hard for me. So it's like, I don't bother with trying to talk to random niggas or random girls. I don't know, unless the girls of course give me a choosing signal, but I don't really go out and try and talk to niggas because it's just like, that's not my personality trait. My personality trait is me being an introvert, and I don't know, it's just something about I can't be charismatic amongst strangers like that until I get comfortable with you. But if you plan on going out by yourself alone to the club, it's definitely a great learning experience, and I feel like if you have that characteristic trait that you could be a very charismatic person and you want to put yourself in a tough, challenging situation to where you can grow and learn, I feel like, yeah, go out by yourself a few times, see how the night goes, challenge yourself, you know, to meet new people, just basically have like no background support of friends, like male friends that you came with, you know, just go out there and test the waters with, you know, what's the worst that can happen? It don't even have to be on like a weekly basis. basis, you know, just maybe like once a month or once every other month, especially if you don't even have friends who go out like that, bro. Just start going out by yourself here and there and seeing how it is. You know, you never know how it could be for you, because just because my experiences wasn't, you know, the best does not mean that your experiences with going out by yourself won't be the best, because shit, you might have a lucky night where everything pops off. You might meet the right group of people, and then once you meet the right group of people, you start going out weekly, and then going out weekly can change your progression of life to where you have a social group, you're one of those niggas who's kind of known in the social nightlife, and then boom, you just boosted your status right there.